Okay, so on January 27, 2020, Letecia Stauch called the El Paso County Sheriff's Office to report her 11-year-old stepson, Gannon, had run away. On March 2nd, she was arrested for the murder of Gannon Stauch. This is her preliminary hearing timeline. She appeared via WebEx from her cell in El Paso County Jail. She stated, "I have confidence in my defense counsel." Stauch acknowledged that she was waiving the right to be there in person. The judge explained that he would be reviewing the evidence in the case, and it could have an impact on whether or not she would be granted bond. Stauch said she understood and did not want to be there in person. The judge says he was going to make her appear on WebEx again to tell him if she changed her mind and wanted to be there. She immediately left the room after telling the judge she understood. The 4th Judicial DA stated if she's not showing up, it makes it harder for witnesses to point to her and say she did it. He asked that the judge set a trial date because of this and waive the hearing. The judge stated she has clearly said she does not want to waive the proceedings themselves and wanted to move on with presenting the evidence. The prosecution called up the first witness, Jason Yoder, sergeant with Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office. They were going to be showing a lot of pictures for evidence, they said. Yoder stated he got a call on March 17, 2020, responded to the discovery of a body. The body was under the Highway 90 bridge in a suitcase in Pace, Florida. A highway inspector found the suitcase while inspecting the Escambia River Bridge. The inspector opened the suitcase and found a body wrapped in blankets. Yoder said the body appeared to be a small child. He said the clothes on the body led them to identify the body as male, and they guessed it was someone 9 to 14 years old. There was an imprint in the ground consistent with someone dropping a suitcase off the bridge by an emergency pull-off area. They went on the missing persons database and saw pictures of Gannon Stauch. They noticed similar dental, height, and weight features. He observed injuries to the body, a fractured skull, and a gunshot wound in the lower left jaw. Stab wounds to the left chest, right back, cuts on hands and arms consistent with defensive wounds. The autopsy report says there were 18 sharp force injuries. No mask could hide the pain in Gannon's family's eyes. The first exhibit brought up on the screen was the missing flyer for Gannon Stauch. Loved ones were wiping tears from their eyes, hearing what this witness saw and seeing Gannon's picture. Family members were embracing one another and bowing their heads to avoid looking at the screen. The court viewed pictures of the suitcase and Gannon's body that was found under the bridge. They were seeing pictures of a pillow and blankets found in the suitcase along with Gannon's body. There were little blue sharks on the blankets. Yoder said the doctor conducting the autopsy found the gunshot wound itself could have been fatal, but could not determine if the gunshot or blunt force trauma was before or after death. Death was gunshot wound and blunt trauma to the head. Based on Yoder's experience, he said he would guess Gannon may have been in the suitcase for longer than a month. Second witness was Kevin Clark. Clark had experience in investigating cell phone information and GPS tracking. He was granted to work with Sheriff's Office and FBI to support the case, and pulling up a number of exhibits showed maps tracking Letecia Stauch's locations. They will also be presenting a hotel receipt. Clark talked about January 28th, a neighbor's surveillance showed her Volkswagen backing up out of the driveway. A car tracker also showed the car heading to the airport. On January 28th, she looked for cheap rental cars in Colorado Springs, and she picked up a white Kia Rio. At 8:41 a.m., she went to the car rental kiosk at the airport. Then she picked up her husband Al in the rental car and went back to their home. She returned the Kia that night at 7 o'clock and got her Volkswagen. At 7:26 p.m., she switched her phone to airplane mode. Location data shows that there was a 30-minute pause in traveling in the Falcon area while the phone went into airplane mode. Crews ended up searching there and didn't find anything. After 9 p.m., Letecia was in Douglas County and her phone was still in airplane mode. Maps showed her path from Falcon and out east, heading west to County Line Road in the Palmer Lake area. This whole time, about 2 hours, her phone was in airplane mode. On January 28, 2020 at 9:51 p.m., phone connected to a Wi-Fi at Hilton Hotel in Briargate and to a Starbucks. At 9:51 p.m., she connected via Wi-Fi with her daughter, Harley. Records from Harley's phone show she was not at Massage Envy when Letecia parked her car there. Around midnight, Harley picked Letecia up in her car. And Letecia left her car in the parking lot overnight as they went home. On January 29, 2020, Sheriff's Office took Letecia's phone and car. They also took Harley's car. On January 30th, Letecia's aunt flew into town and rented a car, and Letecia had access to the car. On January 30th, teams were watching Letecia's movements. On January 31st, GPS tracker shows Letecia in a rental car, and that's the day she did a news interview. Her family flew into town, her mother, stepbrother, stepsister, and aunt, on January 31st. Letecia's aunt lets her use rental cars while the sheriff's office seized her car and phone. On February 1st, she rented a van from a location by Garden of the Gods in the early morning. In the early afternoon, she purchased a Verizon cell phone at Walmart. Maps show Stauch traveling from Colorado Springs to Florida to South Carolina, February 1st. She traveled more than 1,000 miles with her daughter, Harley. Surveillance video along the route shows both Letecia and her daughter on that trip. Credit card data, new phone, and toll road data shows them on the trip as well. February 3rd, they made a reservation for a hotel. On February 4th, just after midnight, they arrived in Pensacola, Florida. On February 4th, map shows the rental van at Candlewood Suites. At 4:15 a.m., the van is tracked less than 2 miles from a bridge where Gannon's body was found. The hotel is approximately 3.3 miles from where Gannon was found. Clark says only 2 people involved in this investigation are Stauch and her daughter, Harley Hunt. Receipt from the stay at Candlewood Suites on February 4th has Letecia's name on it. She actually used her rewards program login because she was a platinum member. They left after only staying a few hours before heading to Orlando and then South Carolina. Witness 3 is Patrick Younkin with El Paso County Sheriff's Office. Younkin was on duty and responded to a call for a runaway juvenile on January 27th. Tragically, runaways are given a non-urgent priority, and they were busy that night. Sergeant Younkin got consent and searched the home on the night of the reported runaway. Younkin searched closets, the attached garage, and the storage room. Younkin made contact with Letecia Stauch on 2 occasions during the search. First, in the attached garage, and second, in the lower level of the residence, and he had worn a body camera. Court has shown Letecia on police body-worn camera during the search, and we hear her consenting to the search. You hear her saying Gannon said he was going to his friend's house to play video games. She says something about cleaning a mess he made on the carpet downstairs. Younkin starts going through a car in the garage. She comes in the garage and says Gannon never hid in the car before. And we see what looks like a suitcase in the car captured on body-worn camera. In Gannon's bedroom, Letecia talks about how he is a very fashion and how Gannon has tons of clothes. She says she's not the person that talks to Gannon's friends and parents. That Al, Gannon's father, is the one that says yes or no to play dates. Younkin is now answering questions about the search. Nothing indicated to him that something violent would have occurred. He was searching for the boy. Letecia's attorney questions Younts about the suitcase in the car. Younkin said he doesn't know if there was a suitcase in there. Specifically, he didn't look in the suitcase. Younkin went back on January 29th to execute a search warrant. Younkin found a dry red liquid substance on one of the stairs leading to the garage and on the garage floor. Witness 4 is Deputy John Sarkeesian with El Paso County Sheriff's Office. He was asked to run command for the search efforts for Gannon. He said they used all the search tools they had, from sonar to horses and prodding poles. Some days they had hundreds of searches, and the snow was pretty thick at the time. He said on Perry Park Road there is an S-curve in the road, and crews focused a search there. The court is shown the S-curve, and K9 alerted to this area also. He checked barbed wire and noticed a flat plywood board that had snow on top of it that didn't appear to be moved. The board appeared to have blood on it, and tests confirmed it was Gannon's blood. Fifth witness is Sergeant Rosario Hubble. Hubble states pictures from Letecia's phone show Gannon in his bed on January 27th at 8 a.m. Hubble said he believes Gannon is alive in the pictures. Investigators compared the pictures of Gannon in his bed to the evidence in the suitcase in Florida. Hubble said the bedding matches and appears to be the same bedding that Gannon's body was found wrapped in. On February 3rd, detectives went back to search the home again. They had reason to believe there was foul play, and their mission was to look for blood evidence. Hubble stated they searched for blood with a blue stain solution that will light up right away when blood mixes with chemical in low light conditions. In photos of Gannon's room, detectives marked blood spatter on the borders. Investigators said they pulled out the carpet because there was a stain that soaked through down to the concrete. Hubble said a sample of the stain was identified as Gannon's blood. Hubble said it was apparent the carpet had been cleaned, but the padding underneath and the concrete were not. Another picture shows the corner of the mattress in Gannon's room and the stain on the mattress tested positive for Gannon's blood. Blood found on an outlet next to Gannon's bed matched Gannon's DNA. Blue Star blood testing showed a trail from Gannon's room to the garage, went through the storage room and stairs along the way. Investigators show a picture of a gun found in the master bedroom. Hubble found the gun on top of a dresser, a 9mm handgun that had Letecia's DNA on it. A major portion of the DNA on the trigger belonged to Letecia. Hubble said Florida sent back 3 projectiles, 1 from Gannon's head and 2 from the pillow. Examiners said they were consistent with the bullets that would come from the handgun found in the master bedroom at Stauch's house. The defense is now asking Hubble questions. He confirmed there was 3 DNA profiles found on swabs of the gun, 2 males and 1 female. Defense brings up Hubble's concern that he contaminated the room when he touched the carpet with ungloved hands. He noticed it was crunchy and had them pull it up. Hubble said he wanted to set an example for his team and own up to his mistake. FBI Special Agent Andrew Cohen takes the stand. He's the lead case investigator. Said he found no evidence that pointed to Al Stauch being involved in the murder of his son. Al is Gannon's bio dad. He was in Oklahoma for training. Cohen found no evidence that pointed to Gannon's mom, Landon Hyatt, being involved in his disappearance or murder. Pictures of Gannon in his bed were taken when only Gannon and Letecia were in the home. Cohen reviewed the neighbor's surveillance footage of Letecia and Gannon going into Al's red pickup truck. Cohen said Gannon does not appear to be injured when he gets in the truck. He said Gannon was most likely killed in his bedroom based on all of the blood evidence. Cohen said Letecia Stauch appeared to be lying to authorities during the search and investigation. He said Stauch has a history of fabricating things in the past. The prosecution rests. The defense doesn't have any evidence to present. The judge said he will share his ruling on September 23rd at 9 a.m.